Hey, you. Welcome to the Becoming Her podcast. I'm Jessica, and this is a space where we talk about everything. We're going to be real and unfiltered as we talk about life, mindset, faith, discipline, and what it looks like to actually become the woman God created you to be. And guys, don't worry, there's something in it for you too. So wherever you are right now, driving, working out, enjoying your morning, or maybe even ending your night, I'm happy you're here. And I hope you enjoy this episode. Okay, so this has really been on my heart, and I feel like we need to talk about this because I'm truly confused why, on a daily basis, we all treat God like he's some one-hit wonder. Like, truly, this is not like, hey, I just met you. So this is crazy. So here's my number. So call me maybe as I'm doing the dance, recording this podcast. That was a one-hit wonder. I don't even remember who that singer was, but I remember we all loved the heck out of it when I was in high school, maybe even middle school. I don't even remember when it came out, to be honest with you. I just remember the song. But that is an example of a one-hit wonder. God is not a one-hit wonder by any means. We celebrate the things that he did, and then we're already waiting for the next thing before we even appreciate or fully appreciate the last thing he did. Or there's also the case scenario where you forget what he did so quickly, so that when something comes up in your life again, you're like, oh, but will God even do this? Is God going to do this? Didn't he just do that before? We celebrate what he did once, but then the next time life gets hard, we act like he's never going to come through for us again. And like he's never done it before. Truly, I'm guilty of this as well. I'm guilty 100% of one day God is saving me and doing all of these great things. And I'm like, oh my God, he listens to me and this is amazing. And I love the Lord and da 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 da. And the next time I get into super stressful situation in my life, I spaz out and I freak out. And I literally end up in that same old rabbit hole. And it takes someone reminding me hey, didn't God do this and this last time? Yes, he did, but why can't my brain comprehend that in the moment? Why can't my brain or my heart or however you want to say it or word it, why can't in that moment that stuff starts to go wrong again, can I just not remember the last time God did stuff for me? Why do we have such short-term memory? Truly, and I'm saying this to myself too, because I, like I said, have caught myself doing this. And we have spiritual amnesia on a daily basis. Even something as simple as waking up every day. That is God showing up for you. The fact that you don't get into a car accident every single day, that's God showing up for you. When God was able to help you pay off your rent, God was able to help you pay off your car, when God helped you move, when God gave you the job, when God gave you the relationship, when God saved you from whatever he saved you from, or he helped you out in some way situation, that is him answering your prayer. So you celebrate that, and then a few months later, or maybe even a few weeks later, something else happens, a hard season happens, you end up in the wilderness again, you end up in the valley, whatever the case is, and suddenly you're questioning his goodness, questioning his timing, questioning if he's even listening, questioning if he'll show up for you. God's faithfulness isn't limited to one season of your life or my life. Just because he's quiet doesn't mean he's absent. Just because he hasn't answered this prayer yet doesn't mean he will not answer again. Doesn't mean he'll never answer. It doesn't erase all the times that he's answered in the past. Because also we have to remember when we pray these prayers, God is not required, to answer every single prayer. And if you're praying for something that is your own selfish ambition and it doesn't align with God's purpose or plan for your life, but his answer is going to be no, or maybe his answer isn't what you want. And so because his answer is not what you want, you think he hasn't answered, and that's, again, not the case. God is the one in control. God is the one who created you. God is the one who designed your purpose. And so if he is answering or he's doing something, it's because it aligns with his purpose. Now, you can't be so silly as to think that everything you pray for and everything that you want is going to align with God's purpose on your life, because that's simply not the case. We we are very narrow-minded, we are very short-minded, and we have the ability to only picture so much or only understand so much. So with that being said, how can we truly comprehend God's plan for us? How can we truly understand everything he has? We know in the moment. We don't know 10 years from now. We don't know 5 years from now. Heck, we don't know 2 months from now. We don't know tomorrow. So these prayers that you're praying, while they may be the right ones, but again, they could be the wrong ones. If God hasn't answered, it doesn't mean he won't. It doesn't mean he hasn't before. So one thing I want to talk about is how we have short spiritual memories. And I've kind of alluded to this as we've been talking already, but we really, and I'm saying we because I do it, we forget that God provided before, that God healed before, that God did open a door before, that God did close a door. And we immediately panic when the next challenge happens. We remember our problems more than we remember God's provision. We replay the what if instead of remember when God blank. And so let's do a whole... I remember a very distinct memory, and I may have talked about it on the podcast before. I might not have. I don't think so. But back in October, I had to shoot 2 weddings at Pretty Place Chapel in Greenville, South Carolina, and I've always wanted to go there, dreamed to go there. I absolutely love the mountains. Heck, I'm still trying to move back there one day. Not necessarily to those mountains, but just mountains in general. Total digression of conversation. But I had this whole plan where I was like, I'm going to go up there the day before, and the wedding the first one wasn't until later in the day. So I was like, if I get up early, I can go get breakfast, go for a run, and be ready to go to the chapel in time. Like, there's a nice hiking trail, whatever, that I can go to. Like, it'll be fine. Like, timing-wise, it worked out perfectly. A little too perfectly, I should say. Because, of course, as things happen and as life happens, not everything went according to plan. And so we're going to talk about a spiritual healing moment right now, because I still think about this, and luckily I have not completely forgot about it when it comes to some situations in my life. But this is one situation that I want you to hold in your heart as an example, as much as I am retelling myself what happened. So, meat and potatoes of this story. Jessica is on a trail run. A very long trail run, a much more extensive, harder trail run than I anticipated. I also, of course, did this by myself. And as I'm saying this on the internet, that's probably a risky game. And you're probably like, Jessica, that's not the smartest move. Believe me, I know. I even went as far as to assume that I'd probably lose cell reception while on said trail run. And so I downloaded the Strava app, downloaded the map of my run to be available offline. Like, I was very ready to, be totally isolated. And for some reason, my brain was like, this is gonna be so much fun. Anyway, that happened. Yes, I did lose cell reception at one point in time. Was I having a great time? Yes. Then I started to realize that I kind of knew where I was, kind of didn't. And so I'm on the trail run, and I see that there's 2 different routes I can take, and I was like, oh, that one looks like more fun. Little did I know, at the time of me saying this looks like more fun, this was going to be extremely uphill and very challenging. Granted, challenging to me, fun. Let's already just put that out there right now. Challenging equals fun in Jessica's brain. And so I'm doing this, having a grand old time, taking some pictures, recording myself, loving life, living in nature, having a great old time. And then about 8 miles in, 9 miles in, it dawns on me as I'm coming, and this is I've already been to the top, already done this whole thing by myself, possibly almost hurt myself a couple times, may or may not have tripped, had to walk because I was ooh, a little too rocky right now, probably, Jessica, we're not wearing hiking running shoes, these are just your Brooks, calm down, you're not invisible. And so now I'm starting to realize I'm making my way down because there's a slope going down, things are starting to level out, and I'm like, okay, cool. And then I get into this part in the woods where it dawns on me, You could 100% be being watched right now by like a bear. And you could die. Like right now. Wow. And like I just kind of had this moment of like, Jessica, you're stupid. I was like, you're so dumb. Like, and I'm laughing at myself, but also like, I mean, yeah, you did a really dumb thing, but you don't have a choice right now. You better keep running because, yeah, genuinely, like you could be being watched by a black bear. You wouldn't know. So, I keep running. And at this point, I'm also like, the whole time when I run, side note, I'm usually praying. I'm talking to God. I'm listening to worship music. Like I said, I was having a great old time. Like I was singing my heart out in the mountains, having a ball. And then I see this one person who's hiking, and he even was like, wow, like I'm really impressed. Like you've been running. And I was like, yeah, it was a little bit longer than I thought, but like it's been good. It's been fun. And he's like, you have some really great footing because like it's pretty slippery out here. And I was like, yeah, like, you know, I've tripped a couple times, but like I'm good. And you're probably thinking to yourself, wow, you totally just jinxed yourself. And you would be ever so correct. So still, I'm going. And mind you, I've already done all the hard parts at this point. So getting towards the end, I'm literally on flat ground. It is level. Are there like stones and pebbles? Of course there is. But it is flat. And so I like tripped once and I was like, ooh, gosh, gotta be careful. Like run looking down. Because I was trying to like run and like look around. I was like, no, look down at your feet. So I'm running and running and running. And all of a sudden I look to my left and what does Jessica do? Eats it. I tripped and fell straight on my hands and like luckily not my face. I caught myself. And I immediately felt my ankle. And I was like, I'm good. I'm totally fine. I'm gaslighting myself. I'm like, I'm totally fine. And I walk a little bit and I was like, well, you have two choices. You can walk and this can take so much longer and you're going to feel this pain so much more. Or you grin and bear it. You realize you're probably hurt and you run. I had like a mile and a half left. Jessica ran. Granted, did I feel it? 100%. I was like, wow, leave it to me to fall right at the end of this run on flat ground after running up and down mountains and like, yeah. So I knew. I was like, I'm 100% hurt. So flash forward to me finally getting to my car. I had finished running, I think like 12 miles. I went into the gift shop because I wanted to get like a postcard and I'm very much limping. And I'm like, wow, this is not good. And let's also remember, I have a wedding to shoot. Okay, cool. And so I get in my car and I'm like, I think I broke my ankle. Like I do. I think I broke my ankle. Like this is not okay. And I'd never experienced that before, but truly, like, couldn't put any weight on it. It hurt to drive, and I stop at the store, try to find something. I am literally using the shopping cart as crutches to get into this store and try to find something. I am trying with all of my willpower not to burst out in tears in this store. And I'm also internally freaking out, wondering how the heck am I going to shoot this wedding? Like, these people paid me to be here, and, like, I had to go do something stupid. Yeah. So, again, we're going to fast forward. I get back to the hotel, change, get dressed, take care of the dogs, like, do all the things I need to do. I am crying. I am crying the whole way up to the mountain, and I am pleading with the Lord above to help me. And end up shooting the wedding. Very much look like I have a peg leg. Couldn't put any weight on it. I'm, like, fighting tears the whole time I'm shooting the wedding. They obviously noticed, and I was like, yeah, I think I broke my ankle today. They were super sweet, patient with me. Like, I had to literally just, like, walk and try to walk and, like, do the pictures. Ended up getting really great pictures, mind you. But this is the part that I want to focus on right now. Coming back from the wedding, back to my hotel, even when I was, like, sitting in front of the cross at Pretty Place, and I was, like, pleading with the Lord, like, to help me and heal my ankle, this is when things got interesting. My belief in the Lord and my stern, God, I know you've done miracles before, I know you can do them now, truly came out in my car going back to my hotel. And like I had to go get dinner because I had to eat something. So going from the chapel to where I got dinner to back to my hotel, I had, what song was it? Was it Waymaker? It was When Wind Meets Fire. That song was playing. And then I also had Gyra playing in the car. And I'm listening to these songs and I am bawling my eyes out, but I am demanding prophecy and healing over myself. And I am rebuking the enemy in Jesus' name. I am rebuking a hurt ankle in Jesus' name. I am literally yelling in my car, Lord, I know you've healed the sick. I know you've healed the blind. I know you've cured leprosy. I know you've resurrected Jesus. I know you resurrected Lazarus. I know you resurrected Eutychus. I know, like, I am speaking prophetic promises and miracles out loud over myself and telling God, I know you've done this. I believe you did this. And I know without a doubt in my mind, you can heal my ankle. And Lord, heaven above, like, please heal my ankle. The devil has no power here. The devil has no place here. I will not be hurt. I will not let the devil take me out. Like, I have dreamed of coming here. I will shoot this wedding in the morning. And like just going on and on and on for a solid like 30 minutes. Got back to my hotel and I could barely walk. Like, truly, I felt like I was just out for the count, but I kept saying, like, no, Lord, like, I know you can heal my ankle, and I know you will. I am going to wake up tomorrow, and I'm going to be able to walk, and I'm going to be able to shoot this wedding. And granted, still crying. But just everything in me was like, God can heal me, and he will heal me. I have done nothing wrong. Like, I have dreamed of this. I am here. You made this possible. You will find a way. You will see a way. You will see me through. And I go to bed with my foot elevated, wake up in the morning, and I mind you, the night before I couldn't even like flex my ankle. I wake up in the morning, and that's the first thing I did was flex my ankle, and I was like, wait a second. I don't feel pain. And I like lay there for a minute. And then I got nervous to like put my foot down and walk. But I was like, no, God can heal me. God healed me. Lord, I know you did this. And so I stood up, and let me tell you who walked and shot that second wedding with a very minimal pain in her ankle. Me. I did that. 100%. How? Because I believed in God's promises. I believed in the power of God's healing. I believed in the power of the Bible, of the Word of God, of the fact that God has done it before, so why can't he do it now? Like, I had so much confidence in what God can do. And if you're like me and you got goosebumps, thank you. But truly, like, I have video evidence to prove how one day I literally could not walk, and the next day I was walking down those stairs and I was flexing my ankle and I felt okay. And guess what? So Friday I got hurt. Saturday was the second wedding. It was the sunrise wedding, so I drove back home Saturday. Guess who also woke up the next day and went for a run on the beach, praising the Lord above and watching the sunrise on the beach and praising God the whole time? That's right. The same girl who 48 hours before could not even stand to get dinner for herself. Yeah. So let me tell you what about God's healing and God's miracles is the fact that faith isn't remembering one miracle. It's remembering all the miracles. It's remembering God's character. It's reading the word. It's studying the word. It is believing in every single promise and every single healing and every single act of the Lord that he has done. He has parted the sea. He did save the Egyptians. He did prevent Daniel from getting eaten in the lion's den. He did help Moses speak to Pharaoh. He did bring Jesus down for us. He did all of these things. They are all true and real. He did release the chains from from Paul and Silas in the prison. He did make Esther a queen who is also in the lineage of Jesus. He did all of these things. And yet we forget about it. Because what? We didn't see it with our own two eyes? That's not faith. That's not faith at all. That's world ideology. That is, I have to see it to believe it. That's not faith. So, big picture here is that we expect God to move exactly the same way every single time. And that's not true. Because even reading the Bible, all of these miracles that God has done, I'm going to say this, take it with a grain of salt, don't quote me on it, but they're not all the same. There was one burning bush. There was one lion's den. There was one Gideon. There was one Moses. There was one Timothy. There was one Esther. One Jael. One Eutychus. One Lazarus. One Zechariah. One Nebuchadnezzar. There was one Jesus. These things didn't get repeated. They became lessons for us to take and really hold in our hearts and then let God do something crazy the next time. God isn't repeating one song. He's not, like I said, he's not some one-hit wonder. He's writing an entire story. We're still living in God's story. The Bible is continuing with us. The time between the book of Jude and Revelations is unknown. Because Revelations was a vision and it's a dream that was given so that we could understand and that we could literally learn that prophecy. And yet here we are, standing in the gap. Still in God's story. He provides for us, he protects us, he redirects us. Sometimes he says no. And he's still faithful even when it looks different, even when we go against his plans, even when we are the ones that mess up, even when we're the ones that turn our backs on him. He's still there. Even when you don't hear him, he's still there. And let me also take note to that, to say that sometimes when you don't hear God, it's because you're so distracted. It's because you haven't sat with him. It's because you are trying to find every single little thing you can do to keep yourself going when in fact all God's asking you to do is stop. Because if you don't stop and give God the space to speak, you're not going to be able to hear him. I've said this so many times just across social media platforms as well as the people in my life that God whispers and the devil yells. God is that light at the end of the tunnel. The enemy is darkness. So if you're confused, if you're anxious, if you're in panic, if you're all of these different types of negative emotions and you find yourself in darkness, it's your fault. We are called to bring heaven to earth. We are called to keep our eyes on the Lord. So if you take your eyes off of him and you find yourself in darkness, it's on you. Granted, it's also on you to pray and ask for God to help you find your way back. And I'm guilty of it too. I'm not perfect. I found myself in darkness a few times, or I have to be like, Lord, help me find my way back to you. Take away what I don't need and give me what I do need. If I have become distracted, if I have taken on more than I can handle, if I've taken on something that I don't need to take on, Lord, remove it. Remove the person. Remove the relationship. Remove whatever you have to remove to keep my eyes on you. If someone is blocking me from you, Lord, please remove them. Remove it. If I'm doing something I'm not supposed to be doing, or if I've gone down the wrong path, Lord, turn me back. Take me out of it. Take it away. I don't want what's not from God. I don't want anything to pull me away from God. I don't want anything to get in the way of me and God. And I will not let a single person or thing come between my relationship with the Lord. Because I have learned lessons that could have been avoided if I would have kept my eyes set on him, but because I took my eyes off of him and I tried to do what I wanted, or thought, oh, this is fine, or I thought God blessed it, but really he didn't. It was just me, again, gaslighting myself. I have had to pray to God, like, please help me come back to you. Help me find my way back to you. And asking him to remove the things that I don't need, which, yes, it's always painful because there's so many things that we think we need, but we don't. And we get distracted because we're human. And I'm also want to just say real quick, like, if that's you and you feel that or you've gone through that, like, you're not supposed to beat yourself on the head with a stick. You're a human. You're a person. You're going to make mistakes. But like I said, faith isn't remembering one miracle. It's remembering who God is. Miracles are changing. Circumstances change. But God's character doesn't change, which makes me feel like I need to relaunch my t-shirt where it says, "Same God knew me." Because we change. God doesn't change. Circumstances change. God doesn't change. Times change. God doesn't change. So what if instead of you stopped keeping record of all the times that you've messed up or all the things that you don't like and started keeping a record of God's faithfulness to you? Start journaling. I love journaling. I call it brain dumping. I have all my clients journaling. I think it's amazing. And it's a great way to keep your eyes and mind and heart centered. Write answered prayers down. Every time, like you can make a prayer card, make a prayer board, and just pray over it. And when God answers it, rewind. When God answers it, make note of that and keep it. And on a daily time, I just lost the words. On a daily basis. Whoa, why did I forget that word? On a daily basis, find some way, shape, or form to remember what God brought you through already. Or how God's shown up for you before. Don't let yourself get so disconnected and so distracted that you forget what he's already done. Because one of the things that I notice when I'm coaching both men and women is that they're really good at remembering everything that's gone wrong. Every time someone's hurt them, every time they feel like God hasn't answered, every time things haven't worked out. But they oftentimes struggle to remember all of the ways that God has already been faithful, all of the things that went right, all of the people that they do have, all the things that they do have. Sometimes we need someone to help us zoom out and see the bigger picture. And that's exactly what I do a lot of the time. Am I the best at doing it for myself? No, admittedly, I'm not. But I do help other people do that. And every time I do that, it also helps me remember what God's already done for me. So, in closing, don't think of God as a one-hit wonder. I think sometimes we do have short memories. And maybe today, before you ask God for the next miracle, spend a few minutes remembering the one he's already done. Because he has already shown up for you multiple times. I guarantee it. And start thinking about that. What has God already done in your life that you've forgotten to thank him for? Go journal. Go write stuff down. Because I'd love to hear it. And if you want to share it, go ahead and share it on the podcast notes. You can share it in my school Bible study group. You can message me on Instagram. And if you're interested in working with me and having some more help, please message me on Instagram. You can also find the interest form on my website. But truly, take a step back, look at life through a different lens, and be grateful for all the things that you have, everything that you've gone through, because it's brought you to where you are today. And if you don't like where you are today, that's okay too. Like I said, things change, people change, circumstances change, and I'm going to sit and stand 10 toes down. Sit and stand. Yes, I'm going to do that. Stand 10 toes down and remind you that God can change things in the blink of an eye. So don't be so quick to feel like you're stuck, because you're not. You're not a one-hit wonder. You're still living your own story. And we all have stories. And yours isn't over yet. And if you like this episode, please share it with someone that you think needs to hear it. Please comment, please like, please rate the podcast. It helps me reach more people. And as always, don't forget, you are fearfully and wonderfully made in the image and likeness of God. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you in the next one.